just around the corner, it is more important than ever to publicly celebrate female achievement, both past and present. Now, in the UK today, just over 13% of the science, technology and engineering workforce is made up of women. Now, why can this possibly be? There is absolutely no reason to suggest that women aren't as capable academically in these areas. In fact, school results would show that they are absolutely as capable. So where is this problem coming from? Well, I think it is as simple as unconscious bias, this little niggling thought in the back of our minds that still to this day men and women are suited to certain separate professions. Now, we can pretend that's not true, and we can pretend that's not how we think, but if you sit a child down and you ask them to draw a scientist or an engineer, they're more than likely going to draw a man, and therein the problem lies. How can we combat this problem? Well, we can start by writing women back into the history books. Maybe, just maybe, more women will be inclined to go into scientific professions. So that's where I'm going to start today, with the first ever computer programmer, Ada Lovelace. Now, typically, Ada is probably most famous for having a very famous and distinguished poet for a father, Lord Byron, described by one of his wives as mad, bad and dangerous to know. Now, I say wives, it was actually one of his lovers. Ada was in fact his only legitimate child. So she was born in the early 19th century and actually never met her father because her mother, Annabella, left Byron and took Ada with her. Her mother also made very, very sure that Ada did not go along the same path as her father, so provided her with what she called a rational education, so very limited access to the arts or anything that would turn her brain. And she showed an aptitude for science at a very young age, writing a book called Flyology, which had the idea for a steam-powered aeroplane in it. So when Ada was 17, she came out in society as wealthy young women did back then, and she met Charles Babbage, the founder of the computer, or the father as he's sometimes known. Now, she worked with Babbage on a number of projects. She studied mathematics, she worked as a teacher, but it was during a translation of a work by an Italian scientist that she made her most incredible contribution to the field of science and technology. She wrote down in the notes of her translation of this article the first ever computer algorithm. She just had a sense that a computer could do more with numbers and symbols than just calculate them. She felt that a computer could manipulate these figures in a kind of artistic way. And that was showing for the first time the transition from calculation to computation. Walter Isaacs sums this up perfectly. Ada was able to glimpse a future, he says, in which machines would become partners of the human imagination. Now, tragically, Ada wasn't really able to see this research through because she died at the age of 36. But perhaps if for every Newton and Einstein and Watson and Crick there was an Ada Lovelace for students to study, maybe we could improve these figures of women in the STEM workforce and we could get to slightly higher than 13%. So, continuing in this vein, my next video is going to be about Beatrice Schilling, so tune in then. Thanks, bye!